So I'll keep on asking few questions to you so that I can know whether you are get understanding the concept or not. So let's say if I have created a two group like A and B, and A group has just one member now whose marks is 10, and B group has two member now whose marks is 20. So what will be the combined average of A and B? So we are talking about group average, which is nothing but average of the entire observation from both the group. So what will be the average of A and B?
10.
What?
10.
I didn't get you. Tell me again.
I'm saying 10. I'm asking 10.
No,
15.
15. Why not 15, Mayor? Why 10?
Sir, मैंने 30 को oh, okay. नहीं,
So,
मैंने गलत.
if you'll see that, if you'll find the total of both the group, you'll see in this way 10 into 1 plus 20 into 1 divided by 2, which is 15. So what if group A will have two numbers whose average is 10? I mean, that doesn't mean that all these two members of A will have value of 10 only. The average is 10 for the two members. And B also has two members whose average is 20. So can you tell me what will be the group average now?
30.
कौन है ये?
मैं हूँ गोविंद.
गोविंद दिमाग कहाँ रख के आओ? So what will be the total value? Total of all the group?
So 15 again, because the number of members are equal in both the groups.
हाँ, मतलब why it is happening like that? Because 10 into 2 plus 20 into 2 divided by 4. So since if we'll take common 2, so 10 plus 20 by 2, the same thing that happened earlier. So it will be 15 again. So now what we know, so whenever group A and B has average of 10 and 20, and their members are in ratio 1:1. 1:1. Either they are 20:20, 13:13, 17:17. It doesn't matter. Every time the group average is what? And you can just reduce it to the value of 10 plus 20 by 2, which is 15. Okay. So I'll take one more example here. Let's take 2 in group 1, group A, and 3 in group B. Let's say there are 2 members in group A whose average is 10, and there are 3 members in group B whose average is 20. So what will be group average? कितना होगा?
12. It will be 12.
What?
12,
will
sir.
be?
12. 12.
12.
Yes, sir.
So,
I
so
think so,
total,
it
what will be the value of total sum?
60 plus 20.
10 into 2
No,
plus.
sir. No, sir. It will be 8. 16 होगा, sir. Yes, 16. It will increase. 15 से बढ़ जाएगा. 16.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let me just write it here. 10 into 2 plus 20 into 3 divided by 5, which is basically 80 by 5, and it will be 16. So one thing that we are also seeing here, yeah, you can observe here is like A has less number of members than B, then average will be shifting towards 20. Like if they both had equal number of students or members, the average was 15. Now if it is 2:3, the average shifts to 16. And there was one point which was also there. What if members are increasing in the same ratio? Like if A has 4 members whose ratios are, whose average is 10, and B has 6 members whose average is 20 again, what will be the group average value again? Follow. If we'll do it mathematically, then it will again 10 into
So it
4
will remain the
plus.
same. It will be
So
16.
16.
Yes. So basically, there are two things that I would like to observe here. One, that if the ratio is same, the average will remain constant. Okay. And for the same average, and whosoever is will be greater in numbers, average will shift towards it. Like if we'll move here, like if there are 3 students in A whose average is 10 and there is just 2 students at B whose average is 20, what will be the group average value? So if you're not understanding anything, you can just calculate it by the
It will be
simple way.
14. Yes, sir.
And I
14.
get 10 into 3 plus 20 into 2 divided by 5, which will be 70 by 5, 14. So what did you see here? That if the number of number of observation in A is greater than B, the average will shift from its middle value towards A. And if the number in B was greater than number in A, the average was shifting towards the value of B. So now, if I'll ask you just one thing that like see, there is a team A whose average score is 30 and team B whose average score is 50. And if I'll ask you, what will be the average of group average? You know, there's a team A whose average is 30, team B whose average is 50. What will the value of group average?
40.
Huh?
40.
कितने लोग कॉन्फिडेंटली बोल रहे हो 40 होगा?
सर 40.
Yes, sir. 4.
क्यों 40 क्यों होगा?
So 30 plus 50, 80, 80 divided by 2, 40.
So who told you that there are one member in each, or the ratio of
Okay.
members in 1:1?
Yes, sir, you didn't specify it. So I assumed 1, 1.
So you don't have to assume. है ना?
Okay.
So I just asked, I just told you that the average of group A members is 30, the average of group B members is 50. And I didn't tell you anything about their even either their numbers or the ratio in which they are. So
Yes, sir.
in that case, you cannot specifically say what will be the group average, but we can always say the average will always lie between 30 to 50. Kyun?
Yes, sir.
So you can take many members of B and just one member of A. Something from B has to be given to the A, so that the average can be close to 50, but can never be 50 if one member of A is there.
Yes, sir.
So the average value will lie between 30 and 50. Now, if I'll say if it is in 3:1 ratio, the members, the observations are in 3:1 ratio. So where the average will tilt, the average will be closer to 30 or 50.
30.
It will be closer to
30. So 30.
30, of course, because the numbers of A, the group members of group A is higher than group B. So A will have more member to get from B. And I was telling you about whenever there is average, who have the larger value will have to give some value to the smaller value so that everyone can be equal. And what will be the value of average?
35.
30 into 3 plus 50 into 1 divided by 4, which is 140 by 4, 35. So I'm giving you one more observation here. So what is the gap between 30 and 50? The
20.
20. So the average value will, I can get the average value by dividing the gap in the same ratio in which group members are there. And we'll do in such a way that we'll divide in a way so that the average will be divided into two parts. This will be denoting 3 and this will denote 1. So if you'll divide 1 is to 4, if you'll divide 20 into 1 is 20 in 1 is to 3, how much you will get? 5 and 15.
Yes, sir.
So just write 5 here and 15 here. So you can find the same average by adding 5 to 30 or subtracting 15 from 50.
Sir, I didn't understand this.
I was just trying to give you an observation. The average that we got, 35. है ना? Is it okay for you?
नहीं
Yeah.
सर, समझ नहीं आया.
अरे 3:1 में तो हम एवरेज 35 मिल रहा था ना.
हाँ,
वहां तक
समझ गया.
ओके हो ना.
हाँ हाँ.
तो हम ये बता रहे थे कि यू जस्ट हैव टू ऑब्जर्व वो 35 हम ऐसे भी अचीव कर सकते थे by dividing the gap into the same ratio in which members are there.
अच्छा अच्छा, ओके ओके.
तो अगर हम मान लो कि गैप है 20 का, हम इसको ऐसे डिवाइड करेंगे कि 3 इसको डिनोट करेगा, 1 इसको डिनोट करेगा, because you know the average value will be closer to the 30.
3:1. ठीक है.
तो हाँ, तो 1:3 में अगर हम डिवाइड करें तो क्या आएगा 20 को 5 and 15. So to get that average, we can just add 5 in 35 or subtract 15 in 50.
अच्छा.
You will be getting 35 only.
ठीक
Okay.
है, got it. Yes.
Okay. So now you will use this thing as an advantage. Like, let's say group A has a value of 30 and group B has a value of 44. And there are 30 students in A and 40 students in B. What will be the average here? Group average, what will be the group average here? So again, there was one way to calculate, to find the total of all the groups and divided by number of members, like 30 into 30 plus 40 into 44 divided by 70. So this would have been one way. Another way that you know,
सर ये
if
30 to 40 30 और 40 को हम रेशियो में कर सकते हैं ना और फिर मल्टीप्लाई.
हाँ, वही बता रहे हैं कि जो सेकंड वे है वो ऐसा हो सकता है, because you know if the ratio is there, that will give you same average as the total, है ना. So the ratio can be, मतलब you can find the ratio between the members is 3:4. Rather than doing the entire calculation, you could have just done it like this. This would have been the another way to do it. ठीक है, यहाँ तक clear हो? Is everyone clear till that point, till this point?
Yes sir.
Yes,
But
sir.
I also told you there is a trick way to divide the gap into the same ratio. है ना? In what ratio? We will divide the gap is to 4:3. And what is the gap here?
14.
14. So how do you divide that?
So divided in 7 parts, 4 into
8 and 6.
that part.
8 and
yes,
6.
sir.
So you can just get the average either by adding 8 to 30 or either by subtracting 6 from 44, which will be the same value. So is it clear to everyone?
Sir, can you please explain this method again?
See, it's just an observation for you right now that the average value will basically lie between 30 and 44 only. It's okay. So there is no
Yes.
way that you can get the group average less than 30 or greater than 44. So the average value will lie in such a way that the gap is being divided into the same ratio in which group members are there. So group members are there in 3:4 का ratio में. Okay. बोलो.
Yes,
दिख रहा
sir.
तुम्हें?
Yes, sir.
तो हम क्या किए कि उसका गैप जो था, जो उनका ग्रुप एवरेज था, उनका गैप जो है वो 14 है. ठीक है, तो उसको भी हम 3:4 में डिवाइड कर दें. The only thing that you need to take care कि 3 को हम इस साइड देंगे और 4 को इस साइड देंगे, because it will get inversed. क्यों? क्योंकि higher member will lead to the average shift from that side. मतलब average shift to their side.
Okay, sir.
So now I'll just give you another example here. Let's say group A has the average of 30 or 30, let's say I'm keeping a very typical value, 37. And group B has an average of 67. So what if there are 40 members in A and 60 members in B? Average value क्या होगी? What will be the value of group average? बताओ. Group average क्या होगा?
$45, sir. 45.
45. How did you get that?
So by that ratio method, there are 20 points between 37 and 67, and then I divided it in a ratio of 6:4.
No, the 2:3 नहीं.
So that is the same thing. Yes, sir.
हाँ. So basically, we have to do in a such a way that 3 will denote this and 2 will denote this. So the gap is of 30. So what if 30 is getting divided into 2:3 format? It will be 12 and 18 and 12. Is it okay to everyone?
Yes, sir.
30 is being divided in such a way so that the 3 will denote this side and 2 will denote this side. So 18:12. So the average value I can get either by adding 18 to 37 or subtracting 12 from 65. It will be 55. ठीक है, तुम लोगों को समझ में आया?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
अच्छा, एक और देते हैं, फिर उसके बाद हम रिवर्स की बात करेंगे. सेम अगर हमें होता, if there are 80 students in A and 20 students in B, what will be the average value? The
43.
how did you get that?
So same तरीके से.
4:1. So I know that average will shift towards this 37 and 4 will denote this area and 1 will denote this part of gap. So if 30 is divided into 4:1, what will the value? कितना होगा बताओ? 6 and 24. So average we can get either by adding 6 and 37 or subtracting 24 from 67. So is it fine for everyone? Bolo, फटाफट बोलो.
Yes, sir.
If you are not able to speak, just write it in chat. Any doubt till now? Bolo.
No, sir.
There is a hold कर. So if I would ask you कि there are two group A and B and we don't know the any मतलब members idea of members of A and B, ठीक है? But what we know here is the group average is 52. So what we can say about their individual numbers? Numbers of group. क्या बोल सकते बताओ? अगर 52 एवरेज है, so what do you observe here? Anyone?
सर एक बार फिर से रिपीट करिए क्या क्या इंफॉर्मेशन गिवन है?
Information ये है, there are two groups A and B. The group A has average of 37, group B has average of 67, and the group average मतलब group मतलब entire group's average है ना? जैसे कभी कभी हम इसको बोलते हैं ना, class A has an average of 37, class B has an average of 67. What is the average of entire class? So entire group average is 52. So with this 52 figure, what we can say about the number of these groups?
सर
So
रेशियो
this
सर
means
बी
that
के इसमें
they are
ज्यादा
in
मेंबर
ratio 1:1 में है दोनों.
हाँ, ये कौन है 1:1 वाले में कौन है? देवयानी तुमने बताया.
Yes sir.
So what we saw here is the average values lie just in between the gap. 1:1 में divide हो रहा है. That we can guaranteely say the number of person or number of members in group 1, group A is equal to number of member in group B, because it's just dividing the gap into two equal parts. Are you getting my point? I'm just reversing the earlier observation. Okay. बोलो आलिया, अदिति, अंजलि, आमनी,
हाँ
किसी
सर।
को? मैंने सिर्फ रिवर्स कर दिया ऑब्जर्वेशन को. समझ में आया तुम लोगों? Anyone who is not getting? बताओ आलिया.
हाँ सर समझाइए, काफी क्लियर हो गया अब।
काफी क्लियर हो गया ना? मतलब we just saw the group average and we saw also that this group average is basically dividing the gap into 1:1. That means their members are must be in ratio 1:1. So if I would have asked the entire groups A and B have 26 members, so how much would have been A or how much would have been in B? 13. They must be in equal size.
Sir, I didn't get this one.
कहाँ से बताया तुम्हें? बताओ.
सर मेरे को बस इतना समझ आया कि एवरेज हमारा 52 कैसे निकला, उसके बाद नहीं आया.
नहीं, 52 निकला नहीं, 52 तो गिवन था.
हाँ जी, उसके बाद क्या किया हमने कि
हमने देखा कि एवरेज जो 52 है वो गैप को 1:1 में डिवाइड करता है. देखो कितना गैप है, 52 से इधर 15 और इधर 15 है ना.
15.
52 माइनस 37 कितना होता है?
अच्छा 15. ओके.
हाँ,
अच्छा.
तो ये 1:1 हुआ.
हाँ ठीक है.
That means 52 lies just in the center of these two.
ओके.
And the
अच्छा.
only case in which we get the center value as average when their members are in same ratio,
अच्छा
1:1.
ठीक है.
So the question I asked, if the total member are 26, तो A में कितने होंगे और B में कितने होंगे?
इक्वल होंगे.
हाँ, इक्वल होंगे बस.
ठीक है.
ठीक है.
हम्म
तो अगर हम इसी को चेंज करते हैं, ठीक है, क्वेश्चन को थोड़ा चेंज कर देते हैं, ये 67 ही रखेंगे. So if I had asked you or told you that just a second, huh? हाँ ठीक है. So the next question will be, again, just remember the story behind the question. There are two groups A and B. There are certain members in A and B both, and the average of group A is 37. That means their members are equated to get 37 for each. Average of B is 67. Okay? That means B has whatever members they have, their average is 67. If the question asks you, if the total average, the group average is 57, and A has 14 members, how many members are in B? I just recall the story because the question will be in very much word format, and I'm writing you in a very pictorial format. And I'm asking in a very pictorial format, so that the picture and the word should be related. And you know, many of the times I have told you that that the most of the time the only mistake that you do is you don't understand the story behind the maths. You just want formula to get it done, but this doesn't help. Okay, so just tell me, the question is, the group A has 37 as average, group B has 67, both of group combined has an average of 57, A has 14 members, how many members will be in B? So the first thing you'll be telling me, not the value of B. This is the last part of question. If 57 is an average, what we can say about their ratio? Tell
The
me.
2:1.
2:1.
It will be
2:1. 2:1 ऐसे?
Sir, 1:1 होएगा.
Yes,
एक
1:2.
हाँ,
So
1:2. Sorry.
I told you that this figure will go this side and this will go this side. So if gap is being divided, hello?
Yes, sir. तो gap का ratio will be 2:1
करते हैं
and
आपको. हाँ बताओ क्या बोल रहे थे?
yes, sir. तो gap का ratio is 2:1 तो ऊपर जाके 14 will be
1:2.
1. Yes, sir.
1:2. This is the ratio of their members, size of the group. And if one has a value of 14, there are 14 members in group A. So how many members would be in group B?
28.
Yes. So is there any problem with this concept?
No, sir.
No,
So question can be asked in any way. I'll just give you another question. So again, the plot is same. There are two groups, A and B. All the members of group A has an average of 37. All the members of group B has an average of 67. And the average that we got is 61. The group average is 61. And I'm telling you, what I'm asking you is, if there are, let me ask you, if there are 100 members in the entire group, how much people are in A and B? So how do you do that? The first thing that you can easily observe is what? बताओ क्या होगा इसका?
सर A में होंगे 20 और B में होंगे 80. It is divided into 4:1.
हाँ, तो सबसे पहला आप ऑब्जर्व करोगे, the group मतलब the gap which is 30 is divided into 24:6, which is basically 4:1. So the number of member of A and B will be in ratio 1:4. So if total members are 100, है ना, how will you divide 1:4? A में कितने आएंगे और B में कितने आएंगे? So you know 1/5 into 100 और 4/5 into 100. So मतलब रेशियो में हम ये पढ़ेंगे, ऐसा टेंशन लेने वाली बात नहीं है कि कैसे तुरंत तुरंत बांट दे रहे हैं लोग, बट यू कैन जस्ट विजुअलाइज कि ये आपका 20 और ये 80 होगा. ठीक है, इज इट ओके? आलिया, आदिति, करिश्मा, बताओ एवरीवन.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So,
Okay. हाँ.
so I guess I'm having difficulty in finding the ratio. Like जो 30 का gap है, हमने उसको 24 और 6 में कैसे किया?
बस हमने देख लिया कि 61 कितना दूर है 37 से और 67 से,
Okay, okay.
है ना, मतलब 61 plus 6 is 67
Yes, sir.
and 37 plus 24 is 61. So this is how the gap is being divided.
Right.
है?
sir.
So see, the numerical problem is not a big problem. Well, calculation related problem is not a big problem here, because here you just need to be very cautious about the story or the plot here, that how and what is being calculated. Okay. So earlier we were focused about the finding group average. Now we are getting ratio from the group average. Okay. So one more question I'll ask you. I'll give you a smaller value now, 20 and 30, and the group average that we got is 27.5. And there are 105 total number of students between among A and B. It could be anything, number of student and number of total observation, 105. So find out how many members are in A and B. Tell me. बताओ.
Sir, total 105 है ना?
हाँ, पहले उस पे मत जाओ, पहले बताओ what is the average that you got, sorry, ratio that you got.
Sir, 1:3.
So it's 7.5. 27.5 है, मतलब 20 और 30 का एवरेज जो है ग्रुप का, it will always between 20 and 30. It can never be 2705. 27.5.
It is 3:1, sir.
हाँ,
3:1.
3:1.
Yes, sir.
So यानी कि the members are in 1:3, है ना. You just recall
Yes,
ये inverse हो जा रहा है, मतलब reverse
Yes,
हो
yes,
जा रहा है.
sir.
So 1:3. So can we divide 105 into 1:3?
No, sir.
If we are talking about number of students,
No, sir, we
But-
cannot.
हाँ, so you cannot just say data insufficient.
Okay, sir.
Okay, this would be the answer. One last type of problem, which is quite difficult one, not difficult one, but generally, you won't find this kind of
इसमें
problem.
insufficient कैसे है? ये तो मतलब गलत है ना?
Inconsistent, sorry, inconsistent. So we call it inconsistent. Okay. Ruchika, समझ में आया तुम्हें?
Yes, sir.
When we say data insufficient, that means something is missing. And when we say data inconsistent, that means the rationale that the question is creating is not suiting or matching with one of the values that is there. So then it is inconsistent. So basically what they do is in exam, they all inconsistent or insufficient will lie in CBD, cannot be determined. है ना? So whatever it is there, है ना? You can just mark that option. So the one last question that I'll ask you. There are 100 members in A, 300 members in B, okay, and the average of A, group average of A is 20, है ना? Group average of A and B total is 32. What will be the average of B? This is the last type of question. So we were finding just a second. So is my screen visible to all of you? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Just a second.
It will be 36, sir. 36.
Let me- So what was the question again? I think something happened to the Microsoft Whiteboard. So we had A has 100 members, B has 300 members. A had a average of, the group A had average of 20. The combined average was 32. I was asking what is the average of B? Of group
Yes,
B.
sir.
So now, from where we'll get the idea? From the total members that they have. So the whatever the average is, we'll divide the gap into what ratio?
3:1.
So
3:1. So if the gap of 12 is 3, so what will the value of 1 here? 4.
4. Yes, sir.
So the average of B will be 4 more than the average of group average, which is 36. Okay, it will be 36.
तो ये 4 कहाँ से आया? वो मुझे भी 36 आया था, बट मुझे लगा वो गलत है.
अच्छा देखो ये 1:3 तुम दिख रहा है तुम्हें?
हाँ, वो दिख गया.
हाँ तो ये 20 to 32 का गैप कितना है? 12.
हाँ.
तो 3 is basically being denoted by 12 number lines.
हाँ.
तो 1 कितना होगा? 4 होगा ना? If 3 is 12,
समझा. हाँ, समझा.
पक्का ना? So see, the thing is, these all questions we could have done by normal way of doing also, like what? If we would have considered the average value of B is X. So what we know that 20 plus 3x divided by 4 is equal to 32. मतलब like if we could have taken only 1:3 का रेशियो लेके ही चलते हैं तो हम ऐसे नॉर्मल वे में भी कर सकते थे, है ना? तो इसको भी करोगे तो वही आएगा 20 plus 3x is equal to 32 into 4 and 3x is equal to 128 minus 20 which is 108 and x is equal to 36. So we could have calculated the value of x like 36 also. But this is like this formula or this particular way of solving is based on the normal way of that with which we look average. That average is what? Total of all divided by total number of observations is the average. So you could have done in this way also. All these questions that we have done earlier, you could have done in this way also. But since that way you know, or you can do it by yourself, this is basically gives you wings. Matlab this way gives you wings. And this is the very basic of allegation. So we will be using it in the profit and loss chapter and other chapter. Which method, Suchismita? Which I was doing in a normal average
Yes,
way.
sir, the normal numerical way, I think so.
So normal numerical way, I took the average of B as X, and there were 100 member and 300 member of A and B. So I just took 1 and 3. The total value of A is 1 into 20. Total value of B is 3 into X divided by total number of observation, which is 4, 1 and 3. It should be equal to 32. And I solved this to get X is equal to 36. ठीक है सुचिस्मिता? Okay. So you could have done this in this way also. But since we know for group average, the average always lie in between the averages of the two group, and it divides the two group in such a way that the ratio of gap division is equal to the ratio of individual numbers. So that, of course, it gets reversed also. So you just have to remember that if the if B has larger number of observation, the average will shift towards it. So 1:3 is the group average. Sorry, the number of members of group, ratio for the members of group. So the ratio in which gap will be divided is 3:1. So now what we knew that if this 3 is 12, then 1 will be automatically equal to 4. And then X will be 36, 32 plus 6, 4. ठीक है? ये समझ में आया तुम लोगों को? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
तो ये इसको हम ग्रुप एवरेज वाली बात को हम यहीं पे रोकेंगे, बिकॉज दिस इज द वेरी कोर ऑफ एवरीथिंग दैट यू कैन लर्न. बाकी सारी चीजें जो हैं, एक मिनट.